And we wish you the best of luck this weekend.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, just a quick heads. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with our Championship 4 crew chief availabilities. We've now been joined by Paul Wolfe, who's the crew chief for the number 22 Team Penske Ford, driven by Joey Logano. If you have a question for Paul, go ahead and raise your hand. We'll get you a mic and we'll get started with questions. And Paul, if you don't mind, just give us a quick recap of the 22 teams practice.
I thought overall it went pretty well. We had a fairly extensive practice plan for 50 minutes, and was encouraged that we were able to get through the items we wanted to do. Still have a lot of sorting through everything and debriefing with Joey to do, and sure it'll be a late night until 8:30 tomorrow morning. We got to be in line to qualify, but overall was pleased. All the Penske cars had pretty good speed out of the gate. Our teammates were able to to try some items as well. So we have a lot of stuff to look at and make some decisions on, but overall was pleased with where we got started today.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take questions for Paul. And to kick us off, we're going to start with Zach.
Zach Sterniolo with NASCAR.com. Paul, you guys have had the most time of anyone to prepare for this weekend. What have the last few weeks been like getting ready for today to get this car on the racetrack? And with it being later in the day, how much can you take from today and apply to Sunday's race?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, we have had a lot of time, and we've tried to make the most of that. As we know, you can. It seems like there's never enough time in the day when you're preparing for any race. So we the extra couple weeks was nice. Like I said, we had a good plan. I think Team Penske as a whole, I was very pleased with how our teammates stepped up and were able to help us and put together, working together. It went pretty well. The 12 was really fast as well, and it just gives us more to lean on and more confidence in changes and things as we try to make decisions as we go into tomorrow. But overall, I thought it went pretty well.
All right, we're going to come up front to Bob.
Bob Hawkers, Fox Sports. Did anything about the track today and the resin surprise you guys, or was it about what you expected? And also, looked like Joey smoked the tires there coming to pit road. Did that change any of your kind of plans or impact your practice?
Yeah, I thought as far as the track and all that goes, I think it's pretty much what Joey was expecting. Wasn't a whole lot different there. Obviously, the conditions, it cooled off quite a bit. Be pretty warm from what I've seen on Sunday, so track will be just a lot less grip, and we'll have to make sure we adjust our balance accordingly for that. At the very end there, it was just a practice coming to pit road. Run there where he locked up a left front. No real concerns, just him trying to find the limits of what he's got if we get it into a green flag pit stop situation Sunday.
All right, we'll go to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Paul, just the challenge of getting everything together with the pit crew. I know there kind of been adjustments the last few weeks, and obviously we've seen what pit road can matter here. How much has that been as much an eye toward this race, or what have you guys kind of done in terms of that?
Yeah, it has been, and I think I've spoke a couple times to a few different people, but we have made a change to the pit crew going into Martinsville. And fortunately, Martinsville worked out really well. I think we were ranked one of the best pit crews on pit road for Martinsville, and it's a very tough, obviously, pit road to pit on. I was encouraged by what we saw there, and we've continued to work with that group since then. Obviously, leading up to this weekend to make sure we've done everything we can. There's no guarantees. Like I said, it's very competitive on pit road, and we're all humans, and guys are going to make mistakes. We just hope when it counts, we're where we need to be.
And also, obviously, the number one pit stall everybody wants here, understandably so. how many other pit stalls are good pit stalls? Maybe not the number one, but you feel like if you're third or fourth, or let's say if you're seventh in the practice speed, if you're seventh in qualifying, does that put you in a hole in terms of pit stalls picking?
No, the way I understand it, the championship 4 guys will get the first picks. So I think that's kind of, obviously you want stall 1, but after that there's 3 other good stalls. I don't expect that to be anything to talk about on Sunday. I think everyone will have a good stall. The stalls here are really long, they're 40 some feet long, so I don't expect that to be an issue, and it'll just kind of be up to the pit crews to do their thing.
All right, we'll come up front to Lee, please.
Paul, the bombs seem to be the preferred line. Do you expect it to spread out? I mean, obviously, these are the coolest temperatures of the day, and it's supposed to be warmer on Sunday. Do you expect the track to spread out?
I think that's what we're hoping for. I think if it doesn't, it'll be obviously very tough to pass, as it already is. But I think usually once the tracks get hot and slick, you usually see them widen out a little bit, and that's our hope that Sunday we'll see those conditions, and I would expect it to change some.
All right, go ahead.
John Newby, Heavy.com. I know that he's hell-bent on getting revenge for 2020. As a crew chief, I mean, is your role kind of helping manage those emotions, or is that just kind of an extra motivating factor for him?
Yeah, I mean, and Joey's obviously very experienced. I guess he's probably the oldest guy in the field, and he's pretty good at this point of being able to manage his emotions and what he thinks. I think he's very driven and determined, and that's it's going to be hard to beat that on Sunday, and it looks like we'll have the speed to go along with it. So from there, it's just executing the strategy and seeing how the race plays out. But like I said, I was pleased with the speed we had, and he's on his A game right now, so I think it'll be tough to beat on Sunday.
All right, we're going to go to Kelly and in with Jerry. Go ahead, Kelly.
Kelly, CrownRacer.com. Paul, many are wondering if there's anything from the first Phoenix race to bring into here because it was so long ago. So where do you stand on that, or have you focused on other similar racetracks in doing any prep for this weekend?
Yeah, a lot has changed. I think we've looked at what we had here. We've looked at what we ran at Gateway with a lot of success, tracks that don't have a lot of fall off. Richmond's kind of its own unique short track. So for us, I think it was mainly based off of race 1 and then what we did at Gateway earlier this year. So we were able to get ourselves what we thought was going to be in the box to get started. And if your fingers crossed, obviously a lot's changed. You hope you're up there on the speed charts when you roll off. And it seemed like I said, all the Penske cars were up there in the top 10. And it was hard to tell early on who had speed. I think there's so much traffic out there, and when guys were laying down laps. But I think overall we're in the game. And from there we were able to, like I said, go through kind of our practice plan of some items that just try to find more speed in our car rather than just working on balance. So we got through all those. Not sure, what we'll use for Sunday, but we have options to look at to try to be better. And like I said, we'll have to spend a lot of time with that tonight and debriefing and trying to figure that out.
It's obviously been a long year, not just because of one off weekend, but the new car. A lot of learning has gone in, and so much parity, and just like I said, it's been a long year. What does it mean to just be back in this position, competing for a championship again?
I think it just shows obviously the strength of our team. Anytime we've been had new challenges like this, and I feel like we've been able to rise up, and we've done it with, like I said earlier in the week to someone, we started the season off with a win at the Coliseum, the first time this car was in competition, and there's no better way than to finish it out with a win at the end of the season here in a championship. So it was a lot of work, but challenging, but it was also a lot of fun. That's the exciting part for me going into the year, was we had something new to work on and see who could figure it out the quickest. And I think even at this point in the season, we're all still learning a lot, and that'll continue in the off season as we get ready for Daytona.
All right,
Jerry.
go ahead, Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, kicking the tires.net. In the past we've seen drivers come into this race, play mind games on the other drivers, say different things. For you, from the crew chief's perspective, with Joey being the veteran, as you point out, the oldest guy in the field, does he have any tricks up his sleeve? Have y'all talked about some strategies that that might play out in this race to give you an advantage over your competition? What's the feel from his mind, and where's he at in his head on going into the race?
Well, I wouldn't say we've specifically talked about any strategies from a mind game standpoint. Yeah, I think we'll, after we look at, how things went in practice, where we feel like, everyone's speed is that we're racing, and what their strengths and weaknesses are, then we'll put together kind of our race strategy, how we think it'll play out. But like I said before, Joey's as confident as I've seen him since I've worked with him. I thought coming into, our this race 2 years ago, we were good and thought we had a chance, but I feel like he's even more confident this year. And, why that is, I'm not sure. You have to ask him that, but I think he's confident in the team he has right now and his ability with this new car where he's gotten to throughout the season.
All right, Paul. Thank